So many different times in my life, I've played with broken or hurt things, broken foot, broken leg, broken hand, broken arm, broken sternum, broken collarbone. I could keep going if I just thought more about bones. Why, man? Because I loved it. I loved playing the game. I was passionate about it. One of the reasons I even get encouraged at seeing all of you here. Do you know why I get encouraged by that? Is because you could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you. And they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zuttner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women. 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks. I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Now we here.
Remy, thank you for being on Thrive 15 today.
Thank you.
You are awesome. I'm a little bit intimidated by your awesomeness. I do not have any products that are currently in Whole Foods. And I want to ask you, do you ever pinch yourself, or do you ever just find it surreal that your stuff is in Whole Foods?
Whenever I go to grocery shop, like whenever I go there, sometimes I forget that it's there, and so whenever I see it, I'm like, oh, it's.
Give me a little infomercial. What is this exactly, this awesomeness?
It's my Italian salad dressing. It's healthy, light, and refreshing, so it goes great with almost any salads. And all you have to do is add some oil and vinegar, and you have fresh salad dressing.
Can I have this?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this.
Good.
This one right here. Okay. So now here we go. So putting all of your eggs in one basket. We're talking about focus and the idea of putting all of your eggs in one basket to make sure that no one kicks the basket over. Again, put all your eggs in one basket and make sure no one kicks over that basket. We're all talking about focus. Now, if we are going to become successful in any endeavor, we're going to have to focus.
Yep.
Man, we're going to have to just put our head down and stay focused on the cause. Now, Webster, my main man Webster, in his dictionary, he says that the definition of the word focus is the center of interest or activity, to pay particular attention to something. Now, Andrew Carnegie, who at one time was the world's wealthiest man, he says this: concentrate your energies, your thoughts, your capital. The wise man puts all of his eggs in one basket and watches the basket. This is very different from what most of us are taught. Most of us are taught, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You can hear somebody saying it right now. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, people say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But yet he's saying, put all your eggs in one basket. So we live in this very distracted world, right? We're very distracted. We're in a time where during Thanksgiving, we'll sit around the couch and we'll Facebook each other. We'll update our status to say, I'm sitting next to Remy right now at Thanksgiving. And we do that kind of thing. We're constantly tweeting, emailing, Facebook updates, LinkedIn, urgent calls, emails are all coming into our smartphone. During school, I'm sure you see kids running around all the time with their smartphones. Do you see this a lot? Is it like in school, do people smartphone and email? Is that allowed, or do you get in trouble?
You get in trouble.
Okay, you can't do that too much? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, people are very, very distracted. So how do you stay focused on the daily basis, focused on your brand, focused on helping kids? I mean, I guess first question is, what are you focused on?
I am focused on healthy eating and healthy lifestyling.
Okay. And your main objective is to eliminate childhood obesity and to also eliminate child hunger?
Yes.
So how do you stay focused on it? I mean, don't you have distractions? Don't you occasionally want to say, well, I don't want to spend all my time doing this chef thing. I would rather go play volleyball. And I mean, how do you stay focused?
Well, I mean, my focus is like, it's my passion that really focuses me. I mean, like, cooking is my passion. So, I mean, I love to do it. And so I'm really focused on that. I'm focused on food because I love food. I love everything about food, basically. And then, well, except eggplant. That's like...
You don't like eggplant?
Not very much.
I don't like it either.
But, like, it's all about really using your passion to help you stay focused.
I meet a lot of entrepreneurs who are passionate people, but they have 15 companies. 4 companies. They have 2 LLCs, one that's floundering, another one they haven't filed taxes on in 2 years. They've got a video company, they've got a dog washing company they're starting, they've got an online retail store, they're trying to buy things from eBay. They've half started on 4 books. Maybe you're watching this and you're the guy who starts books and never finishes them. You like to start books. How do you stay focused though? Because you're a doer. I mean, you are a getter-doner. How do you stay focused? Does your mom taser you? Get back to focus. I mean, how do you focus?
My mom definitely helped me get back to focus, but also I think of the one image, like the big picture I want to happen, which is no kid hungry, and then there's no
childhood obesity.
Yeah, childhood obesity.
But you're focused on that.
Yeah.
Do you ever get tempted to get off that mission and to maybe move into a new mission? Like, I'm gonna go to as many concerts as possible and spend as much time on Facebook. Does that become a new mission? There's a lot of people spend a huge percentage of their time on Facebook. I know there was a stat that came out there that was showing the average American spends almost 2 to 3 hours a day watching TV. How do you stay focused when most people are watching so much TV, when most people are on Facebook? How do you stay focused?
Well, I mean, I'm not most people. I'm a 14-year-old entrepreneur, so I mean, there's that little category of that. But it's also really just like knowing that what I'm doing is helping other people. I mean, it's just other people that help me focus.
And I know and I totally get what you're saying, and I want to make sure the people watching this get it. What you're saying is that you don't have to be most people.
Yeah.
You can be a 14-year-old entrepreneur. You can be a 41-year-old entrepreneur. No matter where you are in life right now, you can do it. I mean, now, according to an article that was featured in August 14th, 2012 edition of Forbes, it's called Job Hopping and the New Normal. Okay, job hopping is the new normal for millennials. 3 ways to prevent a human resource nightmare. This article goes on to say the average American spends 4.4 years on their average job. That's the average American. Now, how long have you worked on your own company?
5 to 6 years.
I worked on the company DJ Connection, which I just got my final check from. Woo! 13 years, basically. But you have to focus. Steve Jobs, focused on Apple. Walt Disney focused on Disney. Some people are watching this right now, and you got to check yourself because you're a job hopper. And when you job hop, it's hard to get traction. But for millennials, they're saying millennials spend half as much time at the national average for the time spent on a job is 4.4 years. But for millennials, this is like 2 years. And it's interesting. So, Remy, how long do you plan on doing this?
I plan on doing it until I can reach my goal.
Okay. And that goal would be?
To eliminate childhood obesity and eliminate childhood hunger.
And I don't know if you guys are catching this at home, but it seems like you have a massive goal
Yeah.
that some would say is unattainable, but yet you are focused on it. Google, their big goal was to make it where anyone could quickly find information throughout the world. Seemed like a crazy goal. If you remember, I'm 33, so if you're 33 years or older, you probably know what I'm talking about, where it seemed like that was not a possible idea. But yet they did it. And you have a goal to eliminate it. That's amazing. Doesn't it ever seem daunting?
Yeah, it's a big task. I mean, but it's just like thinking that you can do it. I mean.
So what has been the biggest challenge for you personally so far when it comes to staying focused on your plan?
I mean, since I am like a teenager, there's like a ton of like other things I can do, like besides, my business, like going, like having sleepovers and going to my friend's house and all that. That's like sort of like things that get me off focus. I mean, those normal that kind of things that I sort of want to do, but then my mom, like, she's the one that helps me to really think of like what I want.
Well, I want to throw this out for if you're watching this. Some of you are like, that's terrible that she can't experience her youth. But then there's 18-year-olds who are binge drinking in massive quantities. Maybe you're watching this and you're 18 to 22, and you feel like at college, what you have to do, what's normal is to just spend most of your college drunk. Or a lot of people who are in their 20s to 30s, they say, well, gosh, it's normal for me to go out every weekend and hang out and party with my friends. And then you're 30, well, it's normal for me to, and the whole point is we can always say, it's normal for me to do this, that's why I'm not focusing. But anybody who's successful, I don't care what age you are, you have to focus. And you can't just say, because I'm a young kid, because I'm an adult, because I'm that kind of thing. I met Maurice Canbar. He's the guy who's founded Sky Vodka. And he invented a lot of other products. But he's like 70 years old when I met him. And he has the energy of like a 20-year-old. It's unbelievable. Last year, 2 years ago, I met the founder of Hobby Lobby. And he's focused on Hobby Lobby, and his goal is to give Bibles away to third world countries. And like he could easily just count his billions and go on a boat somewhere. But instead, he's focused on his goal. And I think that's just phenomenal. That focus you have is awesome. Now, I know my friend Ryan Tedder from One Republic, who I mentioned earlier, he has really become successful. He's won a Grammy. He's writing now for Adele and Beyonce and Maroon 5. But he worked on it for almost 10 years before he became successful. And here's a quote he says. I want to get your feedback on this. He says, when you're around enormously successful people, you realize that their success isn't an accident. It's about work. Now, it sounds harsh, but the late, great business mogul Andrew Carnegie said something here that top level, this was something he said about top level success. He said, people who are unable to motivate themselves must be content with mediocrity, no matter how impressive their other talents. So when you get rejected, how do you keep yourself motivated and focused? Because Andrew Carnegie is saying that anybody who's unable to motivate themselves is going to have to be content with mediocrity. Ryan Tedder is saying it's all about work. How do you stay motivated when you deal with rejection?
I mean, the fear of every entrepreneur basically is rejection. But you have to realize that it's part of being an entrepreneur. You have to get over the rejection. I mean, you have to learn from what you did wrong, but then you can just be back. Like, once you fall down, you just got to get back up better than ever.
One thing that all of us can do, an action step we can do if you're watching this, is I encourage you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. 10 being that you can absolutely get over any kind of rejection quickly. Like that you are absolutely able to keep yourself motivated. And on those two areas, rate yourself. Again, how good are you being able to get over rejection? And how good are you being able to stay motivated? And maybe you're rating yourself right, if you're being honest, maybe you rate yourself right now like a 2. You say, man, I have no motivation. I have no motivation. Maybe you rate yourself a 5 on rejection. You say, if I have any type of rejection, it just rocks my mind. Well, that's going to give you some room to improve there. But I encourage you to rate yourself and hold yourself accountable to improving upon that. Now, Remy, when I think of adversity, I think a lot of Eminem. He's the hip-hop artist, and he's sold over 80 million albums, 120 million singles, but he's not a guy that a lot of people would think of as being like super-duper focused. They might say, well, he's a rock star, he's a hip-hop star, he's probably just, crazy all the time. Well, he says this: the album requires a certain focus of mine that I can't really explain. Let's just say it's all that I can really do while I'm doing it. It's that focus thing again. Does it require all of your focus to build your brand, or just some of it?
You have to put all of your focus into it if you want it to get like finished. You have to like be able to really, you can't think of like, you can't be writing a cookbook and thinking of like what you're going to do next weekend. If it's like, you have to be able to sort of train yourself to focus on it.
Do you focus on it when you don't feel like it? I mean, there are times where you do not feel like it, but yet you still focus on your brand?
I think, yeah, probably have. With my mom, she's been there to help me like get back. Like if I'm veering off of like my focus, and then she's always there to put me back in line.
I found one thing that we can do as an entrepreneur that's absolutely awesome is when we have a time where we are wanting to start growing our business mentally, but we physically don't feel like it. If we'll just rush into action, if we have an action bias and we just start taking action, I have found that eventually you will feel like it. So it's kind of like you need to do it before you feel like it, and then you'll eventually feel like it. Is that kind of what you do too? Now, when we talk about focus, we aren't just talking about focusing your time on something either. In fact, we really have to focus our energy on something for it to grow and do well. In fact, our main man, Andrew Carnegie, also said the average person only puts 25% of his energy and ability into his work. The world takes off its hat to those who put in more than 50% of their capacity. And it stands on its head for those few and far between who devote 100%. So it sounds like it requires a lot of energy for what you do. Does it require a lot of your energy to prepare for your TV appearances and stuff like this where you're filming? And does it require a lot of your personal energy?
Yeah, I mean, you always have to be able to prepare yourself for a lot of opportunities that you have, because you don't want to give, like, if you use like 25% of your energy, you don't want to give like a 25% like performance.
How do you keep your energy high?
I mean, it's really just it's all about focusing on it with your energy. I mean, if ever, like, you always have to think of your goal. I mean, if that's going to really, like, it's your goal and your passion that really pumps up your energy.
What time did you get up yesterday?
Let me think. I think 7:30ish. No, yeah, 7:30ish.
7:30ish? What time did you finish yesterday?
10:30.
So from 7:30 to about 10:30, you were working at Whole Foods yesterday, and then you also did, what did you do last night?
The Chefs for the Cure.
The Chefs for the Cure. And so and that was a fundraiser?
Yes.
And with the other celebrity chefs? So, I mean, you worked yesterday. How long was your work day?
Let's see, 14 hours.
14 hours? And
Well, no, 15, yeah.
15 hours. And I'm just saying this because I know adults right now who, and by the way, if you need more energy, this could count as almost like an energy shot. You just have some of this Italian dressing and it'll power you. But the thing I have found is that I know entrepreneurs right now who are 30 and they're saying, well, I had to work almost 12 hours yesterday. You yesterday just did what a lot of people are not doing. And it's because you're passionate, right? Did you even really think about the hours you were working yesterday?
Not really.
Did you add it up and be like, hey, Mom, we should pay me more?
No.
No? I mean, you just did it, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, are you good at saying no, though? Because a lot of people who have a lot of opportunities, they get some opportunities that are crazy opportunities, like bad opportunities, things that come at you. Have you had to say no to some things in your career?
I have.
Okay. And is that hard to do?
Yes, because like you want to take advantage of every opportunity, but the thing is, like, you have to really look at the opportunity. I mean, there's this like the thing where it's like no publicity is like bad publicity or something like that. But like there is bad publicity. It's like your opportunities. There are opportunities that probably aren't the best for boosting your career.
And so, but you know your goal. You always know your why.
Yeah.
You always know what your goal is, right? It's to educate people on how to do healthy eating, to eliminate obesity, and to stop the child hunger epidemic. So anything that doesn't relate to that, it's easy for you to say no to. right? Or easier, I guess. Now, Steve Jobs was famous for focusing on keeping things simple. And he actually said, that's been one of my mantras. Focus and simplicity. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains. And it sounds to me like you have really simplified and you're down, you know what you're on the earth to do. With all the opportunities that you're consistently coming your way, what do you and your mom do to make sure that you don't get distracted by things that might pull you off course? What are some things you do to stay focused?
I mean, I always whenever I sort of try to get off focus, I always do something. I think of something I can do to promote my business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you try to, if you do get off course a little bit, you try to quickly correct?
Yeah.
Okay, with some extra marketing maybe. Now, Remy, if I'm watching this and I'm struggling to find an area of my life to focus on, what would you suggest that I do?
I'd probably say that you well, it depends on really what you want to do. I mean, you have to focus. If you want to do a bunch of little things, you have to think of the one that you super duper really, 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 really want to do, and you have to put your mind to it. Because
I think that thinking is one of the hardest things to do, though. I think a lot of people are like, I don't know what I want to do. This is a fun thing. I see people in high schools. I speak at high schools, and I say, what do you want to do when you graduate? I don't know. Okay, you go to college, and they say, I'm going to figure it out in college. Well, I know a lot of people who went to college, and I say, what do you want to do? I don't know. And you meet them when they're 30. What do you want to do? I don't know. 40, I don't know. 50, I don't know. 60, I don't know. 70, I don't know. 80, I don't know. 90, we probably know what's going to happen next. So the point is that it makes sense, though, to take a time out and say, what do I want to do? Right? I mean, that's a big thing. Now, this is an action item that everybody watching this can do. I encourage you to wake up and tomorrow, wake up fresh, nice and early, and I want you to write down things that get you excited. Just 5 or 10 things that get you pumped. I don't know what they are. 5 or 10 things that get you, maybe do it right now if you can, but things that get you excited. And you might write down, I enjoy eating pears, I enjoy seafood, I enjoy movies, I enjoy weightlifting, I enjoy long walks on the beach. I enjoy eating pears, I enjoy seafood, I enjoy movies, I enjoy weightlifting, I enjoy long walks on the beach. And then find something that relates to that. As an example, I had one friend of mine who had no idea what she wanted to do with her life. And we played this little game. I said, write down 10 things that you get pumped up about. She comes back to me and she says, I think I'm going to become a travel agent. And I'm like, really? This is a lady in her 40s. Really? What? Talk to me. Well, I realize I'm passionate about traveling. I love going places. I need to be selling that because I can sell it to people that they should go on a trip. And then you get points if you sell trips. And so I can go on more trips than ever. And now that person's a successful travel agent. And I know everybody watching this, we can do it, but we have to take the time out to do it. Now, if you're watching this, we would also encourage you that you kind of need to look at your life as almost it's like a ray of sunlight. And you don't know how many sunny days that you're going to have during your lifetime. But if you can focus those rays on plants and things that you actually want to grow, then you can bring them to life. Or if you remember that, did you ever do this when you were younger? You're 14, so this is probably the age that most kids do this kind of thing. But I'm sure you don't do this. Where you take a magnifying glass and you shine it on a bug.
No.
You ever done that?
No.
Well, you can redirect the sun's light. Don't do this. It's harmful it's mean to bugs. But you could take the light and you would go, and you would focus the light on the caterpillar, and you could roast a caterpillar using the sun's light. Yeah, it's not probably not the best practice for cooking, but that's what we would do. It's focused, though. The energy, when you focus the sun's rays, you can literally, with a magnifying glass, you can focus and burn a hole through a leaf, or you can do a lot of crazy things by focusing. A laser beam, a laser beam they use to cut things is nothing but really focused light. And if you're in Taekwondo, you have to focus your energy on hitting a board to make it explode. You're focused. I mean, every time I talk to you, you know where you're going. Do you have a day planner?
Yeah.
And you have a to-do list?
Yeah.
So you know where you're going, you know what you're going to do, you know what you're about. I would encourage you, if you're watching this right now, ask yourself these three things. Where am I going? What am I about? And what do I need to do today? Those are questions that we're not asking ourselves enough, but we have to ask those questions. Now, to put it another way, Alexander Graham Bell, the famous entrepreneur and inventor who's credited with developing the practical telephone, the first practical telephone that actually worked. Hello? He's like that. Hello? You concentrate, he says, concentrate all of your thoughts upon the work at hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus. That's absolutely huge. So again, is there any tip you would want to give me just for anybody watching this right now who's I'm sure you have friends, you know, people who say, I don't know what I want to do. You know, you want to do cooking. Is there any advice, final little advice you would give somebody who's just struggling to find focus? Because there's a lot of people out there who can't find their focus yet.
I mean, focus is all about really like thinking about one thing you want to do. I mean, it's also really about passion. I mean, something you love, like passion can help you focus. If you love to do it, then you can be extremely focused on it. But like if it's something you don't really do, you'll be thinking of like, what's for dinner tonight? Or like, am I doing this right? That kind of thing.
If I want to see you speak, you have a Google chat coming up, is that right?
Yes.
When is that coming up? In June?
Yeah.
Okay. And you travel all around the country speaking now? Mm-hmm. Do you get excited when you get a chance to speak? Do you like it?
Yeah, I love to talk to people.
Well, if I want to learn more about you, beyond what's available on Thrive, where can I find more information about you?
You can Google me, but you can also go to my website, which is cooktimewithremy.com.
Cooktimewithremy.com. And can you spell Remy just for the folks at home?
Remy is R-E-M-M-I.
Okay. And they can buy your products in Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. And where can they buy your book?
My book can be on my website.
Yeah.
It can also be on the publisher's website, which is IdealWorks. Mm-hmm. And then it can be at Whole Foods too.
Well, I know that you're focused, and I know that you know what you're about. So I thank you for allowing us to take a little bit of your time to teach us what we need to know to grow. It means the world to somebody watching here, and it means the world to me. And again, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Whoa. During the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. Whoa. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrivetime Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshops. We have the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, we've designed these these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrivetime Show Business Workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Workshop, December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive. It's 2 days. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving. Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.